Hello and welcome to Seoul, Korea. The World Cup qualifying campaigns for Korea and Hong Kong continue here at the Jamsil Arena today. The hosts expected to get back on track in a bid to reach next year's finals. Hong Kong looking to cause what would be a major upset. It's the start of the second window of the new FIBA international calendar for these two. 80 different countries competing to become one of the 32 that will go to the 2019 World Cup in China. The biggest centrally controlled basketball project of all time. 76 games in each window taking place all over the globe. And these Korean fans are desperate to see their team pick up a win here, having lost their previous home game against China. Here's a look at what's going on elsewhere in Group A on game day 3. China hosts New Zealand in around an hour's time, and then on Monday it's Korea against New Zealand here in Seoul and Hong Kong hosting China. A look at the standings. China the only team who've won both of their games so far. Korea and New Zealand both 1-1. Hong Kong have lost both of theirs heavily so far. 4 groups of 4 teams at this stage, each team playing the others in their group once home and once away. 2 games per window. The top 3 from each group will go through, and then in the second stage late this year and in early 2019 it'll be 2 groups of 6. The top 3 from each group, along with the best 4th place team, makes up the total of 7 Asian teams going to the 2019 FIBA World Cup. We're ready here for the official introductions of the 2 sets of players, starting of course with the visiting team Hong Kong. Well, they've never reached a World Cup tournament. It doesn't look like they're going to reach this one. They were comfortably beaten in both of their first 2 qualifiers, losing 96-44 to China in Nanjing, before going down 74-133 at home to New Zealand on game day 2. They are regular competitors in the Asian Championships, although they've never managed to place on the podium. They finished 15th in Lebanon last year. Their best result in recent times is a 10th place finish in Manila in 2013. And now we're ready for the introduction of the home team, Korea, greeted by a roar of noise from the home fans. And the target for them very much to win both of their games in this window, which would move them to 3-1. Both games do come here in the Korean capital. They split their 2 games in the first window, causing an upset win in New Zealand in game 1, 80-86 on the road, but then losing on home soil to China in game 2, 81-92 in Guiyang. Well, they're in the capital today and on Monday, and they're going to want to try and reward these fans with a big performance. Well, listen to that roar for Ricardo Ratliff, who comes out ready to make his debut for the Korean national team. A man who's won 3 titles in the Korean League here on this floor over the last 5 years. And now we'll pause for the national anthems of Hong Kong and Korea ahead of this 2019 World Cup qualifier here in Group A on game day 3.
이어서 대한민국의 애국가가 연주되겠습니다.
Korea did qualify for the last World Cup in Spain, having missed out on the previous 3 tournaments. Before that, they'd had a good run through the late 80s and early 90s, reaching 4 straight World Cups, but they've never finished in the top 10 at the finals. The aim, of course, here tonight is to get the win to try and go on and push for a place in the 2019 tournament. They are 2-time champions of Asia, most recently in 1997 as well as back in 1969. Your officials for this one will hope that the spotlight shines more on the men on the court playing the game rather than the men making the decisions. Korea will feel confident ahead of this one because of those 2 big defeats for Hong Kong so far, and they've put in decent performances in both of their first 2 games. The upset win on the road in New Zealand and then just falling short on home soil against China, as well as winning the Asian Championships on a couple of occasions. They've been silver medalists on 11 occasions, most recently in 2003, and bronze medalists 12 times, including at last year's tournament in Lebanon, losing to Iran in the semi-finals. And there's Duncan Reid, who will be key to the efforts of Hong Kong this evening. We'll take a look at the complete rosters of the 2 sides now. The majority of Hong Kong's play will go through their 2 key players. The centre, Duncan Reid, their big focal point inside, just short of a double-double in each of the first 2 games. He and perimeter threat Liang Man-hung have both averaged 14 points per game so far for the visiting team today. And there's a look at the starting 5, and you can see that Duncan Reid starts there, as does Zhu Wong Lee and Choi Hwan Sai. Duncan Reid, their naturalised centre, and there's a new naturalised centre for Korea on display today as well. Greeted with a wonderful ovation when the teams made their official introductions. Ricardo Ratliff, you can see him towards the left of that previous picture, but they've got so many good shooters, this Korean team as well, and a number of players who've stepped up with big points tallies over the first 2 games. And here's a look at their full roster. It's the addition of Ratliff for this window that's expected to be a big game changer for them. He's going to provide some extra physicality and quality inside. Jun Byom was the standout scorer in game 1, 22 points against New Zealand. Hyo Hoon led the way in game 2 with 16 points against China, as we see their starting 5. And they've got outside threat Do Kyung Min, who's added to the roster for this window as well, ready to make his qualifiers debut. But it's Ratliff inside, the big name in that starting 5. A much anticipated Korean debut for him, for Do Hyun Min, who was the other player added to the roster for this window. It would be a qualifiers debut, but he has represented his country at other tournaments in the past. He's the leading 3-point shooter in the Korean League this season. There is Hin King-on, head coach of Hong Kong. Final chance for him to get a message across to his players. And on the opposing bench, Ho Jae, who leads Korea as a player, competed at the 1988 Olympics here in Seoul and once scored over 50 points in a World Championships game. He was the standout Korean shooter of the 1990s. And this place is far from full, but the fans that are in the building in the capital are making plenty of noise. So much disappointment when Korea failed to beat China in their first qualifier on home soil. A number of the players have spoken about how rare and precious it is to have international basketball taking place in their country. Well, now they've got a golden opportunity to reward the fans in the capital with a big win as they look to put themselves back in a good position to reach the 2019 World Cup. It's the 2 centres who will contest the opening tip. Ratliff for Korea, and batted back over the top of Duncan Reid as Hong Kong start in possession. Here's Key feeding it back into Reid, who tries to get through the paint, knocked away. And straight away they go in to Duncan Reid, who scored 11 points and had 8 rebounds and 4 assists in the Game 1 defeat to China. And then even more impressive in Game 2, 17 points and 8 boards against New Zealand. Reed going to work again, the hook shot this time, the runner through the paint over the top of Ratliff. And Korea's first offensive possession here as they look to attack from the far side. Ratliff was the intended target as Jung Hyun went down the baseline. Still Korean possession, they'll inbound from the baseline here. Here is Ratliff shooting over the top and backing it in. Huge height mismatch against Chun Wai. Choi Kwan for Hong Kong. And here's Reed again, he's going to take on another and hits again. Duncan Reed, 2 of 2 from the field early on. Quick release down the floor for Korea and they turn it over. An opportunity for Hong Kong to make a really good start here as it goes into Reed again, but he can't grab the handle on the ball. And then turns it right back to the hosts. Jung Hyun on to Ratliff, back to Jun Hyun. Steps through the paint and puts it in with a finger roll. Adam Zhu. Across it goes to the far side, Chun Wai. Reed wants more, everything going through Duncan Reed right now. He puts the ball on the floor, turns into the paint, creates a bit of room and scores again. 6 points for Hong Kong, all of them from Duncan Reed. Chan Hee, there's the pass, Ratliff. Will he score? No. And Reed comes up with the rebound. Ki Lee. Key trying to get into the edge of the paint, back to Reed. Reed pirouette against Ratliff, knocked away. This time Ratliff wins that battle. Chan Hee across to the far side, good spot for the outside shot. Jung Hyun knocks down the first 3-pointer of the game. And 12 points and 5 assists in the win over New Zealand in Game 1. And then fouled out on 14 points in the defeat to China in Game 2. He was only 3 of 12 in that game from the field, but the field goals are falling frequently here in this one. Ki Lee from the outside answers straight back. Nice spin move in the paint and backed in that time by Hugh Jong. 9-9 after less than 3 minutes here. Reed, can he grab the loose ball? Yes, he can. Both teams 4 of 5 from the field. And the foul called that time before the shot. And Hong Kong have so far been an equal match for Korea. So much scoring in the opening few minutes of this one, it's difficult almost to keep up with it. Pretty easy to keep up with who's been scoring for Hong Kong, though. Duncan Reed with 6 of their 9 so far, and then the 3-pointer from Lee Ki. Can they retake the lead? It's Reed again. Reed against Ratliff from that far side. Shot clock winding down as he moves into the paint. Ratliff able to force into the turnover. Bounce pass to the far side. There's the spin. No finish, though, from Se-kyun. It looked like he'd done the hard part, and Ratliff following up, unable to score as well. You can see there 3 Hong Kong turnovers so far, and 2 of them forced by Ratliff up against Reed inside. Zhu. There's the handoff on this near side to Choi Kwan, who gets into a good position but misses. A rebound for Ratliff. He's going to burst down the floor across to the far side. 3-point shot right on the money from Jung Byong, who hits 6 of 8 from downtown, en route to 22 points in the win over New Zealand. Korea take the lead. That one was called a two-pointer, so just a 2-point lead, 11-9. But they're on course at the moment, these two, for a really big tally today. We've played less than 4 minutes. Hong Kong now trying to get level, having fallen behind for the first time. And that's just the second miss from the field for them. And the foul called then against Adam Zhu. Park Jan-hee looking to attack, drawing the contact. And Korea starting to show their muscle. Ricardo Ratliff giving them a 4-point edge. 4 points for him so far in his debut. Here's Reed. Reed the handoff on the perimeter to Zhu, back inside. And Chun Wai does the rest. Ratliff again up against Reed. That is the battle in this one here today. Off the mark from Se-kyun, and a foul underneath as Ratliff looked to rise for the rebound. He's averaging 24.4 points, 14.4 rebounds, and 1.3 blocks per game in the Korean League so far this season is Ricardo Ratliff. And he's certainly causing a few problems inside for Hong Kong early on in this one. Here he is again, Ratliff, can he bank it in? Yes, he can. 6 points in the opening 5 minutes. Ratliff 3 of 4 from the field so far. Here's Duncan Reed. Reed will take on a 3-pointer this time off the front rim. Misses. Rebound grabbed by Chan-hee. Quarterback pass down the floor. Hung high to Ratliff again. He'll adjust and miss. Grabs his own rebound. And that time gets fouled. Such a huge start in the Korean League. And now playing for Korea for the first time. And he's already looking like he's going to be their superstar. Ratliff at the line to try and add to his 6 points so far. The Korean champion in 3 of the last 5 years. Accurate from the stripe as well. And the Korean lead is growing, now at 6 points. And in fact, it's a lead that's concerning enough for Hong Kong that they're going to call the first time out. And a chance to talk it over as Hong Kong try not to allow Korea a gap that makes this one beyond them early on.
아니면 밑에 사람이 올라와주면 어때요? 직관 포토 SNS에 계속 참여하고 계시죠? 그 점수 다 먹고 대한민국 농구협회 페이스북 페이지에 올려주시면 저희가 베스트 샷에서 드리면서 월요일
And Korea have started 7 of 11 from the field, led by Ratliff, who's 3 of 5 and 2 of 2 from the line to extend the lead to 6 points here. Can Hong Kong close the gap, or will Korea continue to try and break free? Duncan Reed. Hui Kwon will take on a 3-pointer that's good for Chun Wai. And that halves the deficit to 3. Jumbion, heats it from the outside already, this time stripped to the ball, and an unsportsmanlike foul called against John Jumbion, as Lee Ki was able to pick his pocket and look to burst forward. Now Hong Kong have the chance to not just close the gap, but actually get themselves ahead here. They'll get foul shots and possession. The quick reactions of Lee Ki, forcing an opportunity here for Hong Kong now to have a possession after the unsportsmanlike foul to get themselves in front from 6 down. Lee Ki moving it on. Chun Wai. Duncan Reid now. Reid will try and attack himself. Spins around into the paint, kicks it back out. Lee Ki's got an open shooter on the perimeter, steps inside though to make the mid-range shot. And Hong Kong have come from 6 down. They've been able to get themselves ahead. Jung Hyun off the mark at the other end, and Korea failing to score since that timeout. Reid will take on the long 2 this time, off the mark. Jan Hee. Turnaround 3 falls well short from Jumbion. Offensive rebound though, they're moving across towards this near side. Jong Kyu. Shot clock back down to the final 5 seconds here. They create a good look from the outside again, but Jung Hyun misses. And Korea, who'd hit 7 of their first 10 from the field, have now missed 4 in a row. Hong Kong looking to get themselves a little bit of breathing room here as Reid moves it back out. 3-point shot won't go. Chan Hee grabs the rebound. And the strike getting it to fall. Jong Kyu stops the rock for Korea. Chun Wai, now Lee Ki. Lee Ki to Reid just off the corner of the paint. He misses. And then a foul underneath as the rebound's pulled down by Jong Kyu. And this one was high scoring in the opening 3 or 4 minutes, but both teams starting to miss a few now. Hong Kong have got themselves back in a great position as they call the timeout. Korean fans making plenty of noise. Their team just with their noses in front at the moment. Despite the best efforts of that man, Duncan Reid, who's done most of the scoring for Hong Kong inside, but it's the 7 points from Lee Ki, using his outside shooting that briefly got Hong Kong ahead from 6 down. Se-hyun back out, 3-point shot, Chan Hee misses. And that's going to be Hong Kong ball. Both teams on 4 fouls for the first quarter now, so any foul now from the defense will send the opposition offense to the strike, whether it's a shooting foul or not. And that is a foul against Se-hyun. So Hong Kong will go to the line to try and retake the lead. Lin Ho-chun will have the 2 foul shots. Buk-hyun into the game with Se-hyun going to the bench for Korea. Both teams shooting 50% from the field so far in this game, and both 100% from the stripe as well. Hong Kong lead by 1. Final minute and a half coming up off the first quarter. Movement around the perimeter from Korea. This step back 3 will fall for Kyung Min. Showing just why he's the leading 3-point shooter in the current KBL season. Knocks down 2.9 per game on average, and that is the steal for Korea as well, all the way through for the simple score. 5 quick-fire points for Do Kyung-min. After the 3-pointer, the interception and the freedom of the capital to finish. Lee Ki moving towards the baseline, trying to bank it in from the angle, and then commits the foul as Jong Kyu grabs the rebound. It's a trip to the line for Korea to try and stretch the lead back to 6, which has been the largest of the game so far. Jong Kyu Kim, who has averaged 1.5 blocks per game over the first 2 games. He's able to split that pair, so Korea by 5 in the final minute of the first quarter. Duncan Reed. Reed waiting for movement, passes it off on the perimeter, gets it back on the far side. Good open spot, misses the shot though. Buk-hyun the rebound. Now Korea can look to run and gun. And a shot from the outside off the mark though from Jun Byom, who's not quite been able to find the form that he showed against New Zealand in game 1. Korea is a team just 2 of 7 from the outside, 29%. Reed in the high post, moving it onto this near side. Outside shot off the mark at the other end, and Hong Kong are just 2 of 6. Here goes Chan Hee through the gears. 3-point shot won't go for Kyung Min. And Reed secures the rebound at the end of the first quarter. South Korea up by 5, 25 to 20 over Hong Kong in a high-scoring game so far. South Korea 20, Hong Kong, or South Korea 25, Hong Kong 20 rather at the end of the first quarter here. 8 of 13 inside for South Korea, struggling a bit from the outside though. And Hong Kong for the most part kept up with them through the opening 10 minutes. Korea led by 6, which was overturned off the back of a Hong Kong timeout. They scored the first 7 points after the restart, got themselves ahead again. Korea have since opened up another 5-point gap though. Duncan Reed, one of the key scorers for Hong Kong, with 6 points early on, but after scoring 3 of his first 4 shots, he's now missed his last 4. And that one of just 2 3-pointers so far for Korea, knocked down by the man on his World Cup qualifying debut, Kyung Min. And stepping in to make the mid-ranger that time was Lee Ki, who leads the way for Hong Kong with 7 points. Korea led by the 8 so far of Ratliff, who is back in the game after a rest towards the end of the first quarter, misses that shot. Big offensive rebound pulled down by Buk Young. 3-pointer from the far side won't go for Ung. So the struggle continues. They'll try and maybe take on another. Yo Ung thinks twice about it this time, and they'll move it around across to Kyung Min. Shot clock winding down on him as he goes underneath the basket, back out to the outside. 3-point shot. The buzzer will fall. Jun Byeon, who's taken on plenty of them already here today, finding his range once again. There's a heel on the line there from Xie Lai. So Hong Kong will turn it over, and this is the largest lead now for Korea at 8 points. Hong Kong's 5th turnover. The home team have protected the ball very well, just 2 so far. And there's the first foul of the second quarter. And certainly a very capable team, Korea, when they have Ricardo Ratliff on the floor. He offers that physical presence and size and quality inside, and they always seem to have 2 or 3 really good outside shooters, Korea. If they can play the inside-outside game effectively, and they should get plenty of open looks, not just against this Hong Kong team, but as they move forward and learn how to use Ratliff in the remaining qualifiers. Buk Young hitting that stationary long 2. Korea up by double figures for the first time. Reed. Hong Kong need to find their feet again. The circus shot won't fall. They're forced up at the end of the drive towards the basket. A renewed shot clock, and that one's off the mark as well. There goes Ratliff all the way through with the score and the contact as well. Korea up by 12, and a chance for Ratliff to add 1 more from the strike. That's double figures on his debut for Ricardo Ratliff already. Ratliff completes the 3-point play and now has 11. He's only been on the court for 6.5 minutes. First foul on Korea in the second. Hong Kong have picked up 3 already. Duncan Reed goes to the bench, and that could spell trouble for them. Korea already up by 13. Hong Kong desperately in need of a score. They've not scored yet in the second quarter. We've played nearly 2 minutes of it. Right at the end of the shot clock, just off the corner of the paint. That one won't go down. Commanding rebound from Ratliff. Quick release as well down the floor. Forced away to the far side and foul. So 4 fouls on Hong Kong in just over 2 minutes of this quarter. And they've been outscored 8-0 so far since the first break. Here's Ratliff, just to try and compound their misery. This is that one though. Ratliff now 4 of 8 from the field. And then Zhu kicks it back out. Xie Lai, another miss. They just can't stop the bleeding here, Hong Kong. They do get the offensive rebound again. Zhu through a gap to the baseline, across to the far side. I don't know who he was looking to find. Sixth turnover of the game for Hong Kong. And they still wait for that first point of the second quarter. Dazzling dribble from Kyung Min. Lovely ball movement as well. Can they finally complete it? Ratliff battling away on the boards, unable to grab the offensive rebound. Chun Wai working over on that far side, receiving it back now. Step back, wide open three. Wouldn't go, and Ratliff grabs another board. There's the drive right down the centre from Hyo and he draws already the fifth foul on Hong Kong here in the second. Foul on Chun Wai. (24-year-old Hyo at the strike, looking to stretch the lead for Korea to 15 now. And that makes it a 10-0 run at the start of the second quarter. Zhu across to the far side. Can Hong Kong finally get a score? Man Hung. Handed off by Chun Wai. Choi Kwan, another miss. And this time it's Korea possession. Hong Kong's shooting percentages are plummeting right now. Just 30% from the field. They were 50% in the first quarter. That one wouldn't go down off the glass for Kyung Min. Well, they've had plenty of good looks, Hong Kong, in this second quarter. They just haven't hit their shots. What a dribble, all the way through. Picked up on the baseline, over the head. Pass. Ratliff will have to earn the 2 points from the foul line. Now goes Do Kyung Min, who's shown a bit of what he's about on his qualifying debut. And this man certainly has. Ricardo Ratliff now up to 12 points. He's 5 of 5 from the foul line. And Korea continue to pull away. It's been a painful 4 minutes for Hong Kong after a promising first quarter. They need that man back in. Duncan Reed, not much time for a break. Manhung moving it on to Reed. Reed looking to go to work against Ratliff here. Creates a bit of room, misses the shot. Ratliff wins the battle. Hong Kong still yet to score in this quarter. Here's Ratliff on the offensive end now, moving it across to Hoon. Hoon dazzling dribble, puts it in off the backboard. Just about secured, but batted away by Ratliff. Certainly leaving his mark on his debut, Ratliff. A block added to that stat line. It's another Hong Kong turnover. Korea with a chance to stretch the lead beyond 20 now. Quite remarkable when you consider they were only up by 5 at the end of the first quarter. And we're not yet at the midway point of the second. It is 14-0 so far here in the second quarter as the ball goes into Ratliff. He looks back out. Long range 2. Off the mark, a battle for the board. Saved on the baseline by the balancing Lee Ki. He's able to fire it off the shins of Hyo Hoon. Hong Kong now shooting just 27%. Lee Ki. Bullish defense from Hyo Hoon on the perimeter, eventually, inevitably committing the foul. Korea have certainly turned up the intensity here in the second. Hong Kong look a completely different team, particularly on offense, to the one that played the first quarter. They're missing all of their shots. Everyone having a go, everyone getting good looks, everybody missing. Jung Hyun. Jung Kyu back to Ratliff. Jung Hyun had it knocked away temporarily, and he gets called in the end for the travel. And the third turnover of the game for Korea. Chun-Wai across to the far side. Reed looking to set a screen, receives it back on the perimeter. Back to Lee Ki. Lee Ki, oh what a move that is to float one off the backboard over the top of Ratliff. The first score of the second quarter for Hong Kong. It's taken over 6 minutes and Korea hit them right back. A 14-0 run at the start of the second before that score from Lee Ki. 19 points the gap again. And then 2 of them go down in a row for Lee Ki as he gets that one to rattle around and drop. Not too simple for Hyo Hoon, dancing through the defense. Siai Lai to Lee Ki, who's starting to heat up for Hong Kong. He'll turn around and fire a 3 in a row for Lee Ki. Hong Kong closing the gap at least to 15. Back-to-back 3-pointers from Lee Ki after the nice move inside. And that's going to be another turnover for Korea, who've just taken their foot off the gas now. And we're going to have a timeout for Hong Kong to try and figure out how to close the gap a little further. They've got a sizable deficit to chip away at, but at least they've made a start. Korea led by the 13 points of Ricardo Ratliff on his debut. 4 of 8 from the field, 5 of 5 from the foul line, 7 rebounds, a block and a steal. Nobody else has scored more than 5 for them. As far as Hong Kong are concerned, 15 points though now for that man. Lee Ki, back-to-back threes and a score inside to close the gap down to 15 here. Reed. Lee Ki, backdoor cut. Reed couldn't find him, intercepted by Jung Hyun. Here come Korea charging forward. Hyo Ung. Inside to Ratliff again. Soft touch from the big man, but wouldn't fall over the top of Jun Wai. Can Hong Kong make a game of this as we move towards the second half? Well, they turned over here. The travel called. Just cut short any momentum they might have been trying to build. That one won't bounce at the other end. Not the first time, not the second, but it will go down the third time. Jong Kyu. Reed. Lee Ki. Inside it goes to Chun Wai, and he's fouled from behind. Reed back out to Chun Wai. There's the cut from Siai Lee back to Chun Wai off the mark for 3. Ratliff, another rebound, is 8th of the game now. Hyo Hoon. Ratliff offering the high screen. Hoon across to his near side. Jung Hyun for 3. Won't go, and Hong Kong can look to try and close the gap again. 20-8 now, the score in this second quarter. Deep 3, taken on and knocked down by Siai Lai. 14 points the gap. Ball movement around the perimeter for Korea to try and answer back off the mark, but what a finish that is from Jong Kyu, a Korean cracker. And the putback with authority. And the outside shot's not going down for Korea, but Kim Jong-kyu making sure off the offensive rebound. And then what a save as well from Ratliff over on the far side to keep the ball inbounds. Korea by 16, and just a couple of seconds differential between shot and game clock at the end of the first half. They'll hold it for as long as possible. Hyo Hoon bypasses the 2 men in the centre. 3-point shot right on the mark from Lee Jung-hyun. Korea bursting away. Oh my word! At the end of the first half, he just threw up a prayer and it got answered. Lee Ki. Hong Kong closing the gap to 16 with the long-range buzzer beater. South Korea 50, Hong Kong 34 at the half. And there's a look at the stats. Hong Kong now to 46% from the outside after that remarkable finish. South Korea dominating on the boards. And turnovers key as well. Hong Kong have turned it over 9 times, South Korea just 4. Although 2 of those came towards the end of that second quarter. It looked as though the lights had gone out on Hong Kong with that late flurry from Korea in the second, but the buzzer beater keeps them alive. As we reach half-time, they kept up with Korea throughout the first quarter. Reed doing plenty of damage in the opening minutes. Korea only leading by 5 at the end of the first. Duncan Reed 6 points early on, but he's actually missed his last 5 shots in a row now. And Korea built up a sizable advantage, led by as many as 19 points. They're led by the 13 of Ratliff on his debut, 9 from Jong Kyu, and 8 as well from Jung Hyun. But Hong Kong coming back with some wonderful shooting from Lee Ki, who scored the majority of his 18 points in that second quarter. He's 6 of 8 from the field. including 4 of 5 from downtown and the huge buzzer beater at the end of the second quarter to give Hong Kong a chance. Jun Byung knocking down that three-pointer at the other end for Korea. The player who hit 6 of 8 from downtown in game 1. Hyo Koo getting through the defense to score on that occasion. All of this offense we're seeing from Korea, and here from Ratliff, who found the pass that time. An impressive stat line, 13 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists, a block and a steal for Ratliff. We're seeing a few three-pointers taken on by Korea. That one put back by Jong Kyu, perhaps the play of the game so far, but they're only 4 of 13 from the outside, the hosts, and Hong Kong are looking to take advantage of that, have closed the gap because of their own three-point shooting. 6 of 13 from downtown. They've closed that gap to 16. So half-time score here, Korea 50, Hong Kong 34. The third quarter coming up shortly.
이어서 우리 이명훈 위원께서 16년간 김준 선수가 입고 전 세계를 누렸던 유니폼 전달해 주시도록 하겠습니다. 그리고 이어서 우리 대표팀 허재 감독님 그리고 양희종 회장께서 아쉽지만 앞날을 추가해 주기 위해서 꽃다발을 전달하신다고 하십니다. 허재 감독님 가게가 좀 새로우시겠어요? 네, 고생 많았다라고 한마디 전해주셨습니다. 네, 5분께 기념 촬영을 진행해 보도록 하겠습니다. 되셨나요? 네, 고맙습니다. 학교에 계신 내부 진심으로 감사드리겠고요. 김기성 선수 잠시 만나볼게요. 네. 대표팀 함께 사진 촬영하나요? 예. 이쪽만 주시겠습니까? 마지막 자리라고 생각합니다.
제가 운동을 시작하면서 국가대표가 꿈이었는데요. 첫 국가대표 유니폼을 입고 시합을 했을 때 정말 떨리고 행복했습니다. 지금도 떨리고요. 정말 행복합니다. 저희 국가대표 선수들이 이번 월드컵에서 1라운드 낼 수 있도록 많은 팬분들께서 응원 부탁드리고요. 저도 열심히 운동해서 저희 한번 한국에서 월드컵 한번 이길 수 있도록 응원 부탁드리겠습니다. 감사합니다.
네, 여기 소감까지 들어왔고요. 지금 김현 선수에게 추첨을 하나 부탁드리는데요. 여기에 당첨되신 분은 유언에 있을 중국 원정 응원을 함께 떠날 수 있게 되십니다. 네, 김현 선수가 직접 추천해 주셨습니다. 자, 입장권 뒷번호를 확인하겠습니다. 뒷번호. 그리고 제가 좌석번호를 불러드리겠습니다. 14099 14099 X6요 2열 15번. 자, 당첨되신 분은 저희가 작전 대기 심하도록 하겠습니다. 여러분, 아쉽지만 김선우 선수 이제 보내드리도록 하겠습니다. 들려주셔서 고맙습니다. 감사합니다.
Welcome back to Seoul, where Korea lead by 16 at the break over Hong Kong, 50-34. They've hit the half-century mark, scoring 25 points in each quarter. Limited Hong Kong to just 14 points in the second quarter. Hong Kong didn't score for the first 5 or 6 minutes of that second quarter, and it looked as though Korea were going to blow the game wide open. Went up by as many as 19 points, but Hong Kong found their feet thanks to the shooting of Lee Ki, and were able to get back in business, now trailing by 16. And Lee Ki leading the way of all scorers in the game with 18 points, including 4 of 5 shooting from downtown and 1 from near full court, right at the buzzer at the end of the second quarter. Korea led by the 13 points of Ricardo Ratliff on his debut, 9 rebounds as well, close to a double-double in the first half. They've spread their scoring around beyond him though. 9 points for Jong Kyu, 8 for Jung Hyun, and then a number of players on 4 or 5. Korea, thanks to the presence of Ratliff to the right of your picture there, shooting 53% inside, not quite finding their range from the outside just yet. 4 of 13 for just 31%. Hong Kong have been the better outside shooters, 6 of 13 for 46%, but inside really struggling. Hong Kong just 29%, 6 of 21 from 2-point range. That is where they must improve, but it's so difficult for them inside against Ratliff and Jong Kyu. Duncan Reid found plenty of joy in that respect early on, but scored his 6 points all in the opening couple of minutes. He was 3 of 4 from the field, but has since missed 5 in a row. And he's also been forced into 4 turnovers. So Hong Kong need to find the answer to that particular problem. It looks as though, unless Hong Kong can produce what would be, from this stage, a remarkable turnaround, that Korea will go to 2-1 in Group A of the Asian Qualifiers, and Hong Kong would fall to 0-3, but it's not done and dusted just yet. And Hong Kong certainly putting in a better performance than they have done in their opening 2 games. They lost by 52 points to China, and then by 59 to New Zealand. They're only down by 16 here, and they could do with getting that man there back in business though. Here we go, start of the third quarter. Korea 50, Hong Kong 34, and they start with the ball. Here he is, Lee Ki, another 3, not that time though. 4 of 5 from downtown before that miss. Lee Ki on fire in the final few minutes of the second quarter. Jung Hyun, Buk Jung will put up the long 2. Rebound for Lee Ki this time. Here's Reid. Hong Kong looking for a score just to start the process of looking to chip away at this 16-point deficit. Another 3 wouldn't go down, so they've had 2 3-pointers off the mark already here in the third quarter. They have lived and died by that outside shot. Offensive rebound for Korea. Fresh 14 on the shot clock. Jung Hyun, pass inside, forced away Se-kyun. Shot clock down to the final few seconds here. There's the fake, there's the 3, backed in by Jung Hyun. Soul destroying for Hong Kong. And after so much good work to try and force them to the end of the shot clock. And the off-balance 3 going at the buzzer. There's a foul on the perimeter on Jung Hyun. A clear reach in there as he made contact with Choi Kwan. So the lead back to 19 for Korea, which ties the largest of the game. Duncan Reed. Reed looking to try and get into his area. Forced back out, end of the shot clock here as well, and they answer back Hong Kong with a three of their own. Not quite as spectacular from Choi Kwan, but it counts just the same, and the lead is back to 16, as it was at the half. There's the handoff from Se Kyun. Jun Byong. Three-point shot for Jun Yong this time, misses. Reed the rebound. Can they get any closer than this, Hong Kong? They'll take on another three, off the mark again. Reed an offensive rebound this time and scores for the first time since the opening few minutes of the game. There's the quick offense down the other end of the floor. Bok Young capitalizing for Korea. Hong Kong reduced the arrears to 14 for a matter of seconds. Reed waiting for movement ahead of him, might just go to work himself here. And he puts it in with the contact. The chance at a three-point play for Duncan Reed, the pirouette in the paint, beating two inside. Reed starting the second half like he started the first when he scored 6 points in the opening few minutes. He's got the chance to make it 5 points here, and does in the opening 3 minutes of the third quarter. He's up to 11 for the game. There's the block at the other end from Reed as well. Recovered by Korea. Out to this near side, Jung Jun for three. Won't go down, an offensive rebound. And this is killing Hong Kong right now. They can't protect their own backboard. Eventually, Chun Wai grabs one. And they have a chance to reduce the gap from 13. Yu Cho. There's the three-point shot that goes for Choi Kwan. It's back to a 10-point game. Jun Yong. Bok Young. Up against Reed here, tries to edge him down the baseline, finds a pass to the far side, and that one's good for Jung Kyun. Jung Kyun really heating up from the outside now. 4 of 8 from downtown, 14 points to lead Korea. Hong Kong have found the ability to score now, but they have to find a way of stopping the Korean outside shot. Korea a little bit of a struggle from the outside in the first half, but they found their range here in the third quarter now. They'll take on another three. Not this time, but an offensive rebound again for Se Kwon. The miss inside then for Bok Young. Lee Ki hangs one high for Reed. Has to bring it down, create some room, but flips it up and in. 7 points for Reed in the opening 4.5 minutes of the third quarter. Three-point shot falls short this time. Another offensive rebound. Every time Hong Kong defend, they have to defend through 38 seconds. Across to the far side, the no-look pass. Here he is again, another three. Jung Kyun, it's his 5th from the outside. Korean lead up to 12. It had been temporarily back to a single-digit margin after a 16-point margin at the half. Mesmerizing dribble and finish from Lee Ki. 20 points in the game now for him. 7 of 10 from the field as well, which includes 4 of 6 from downtown. 10-point gap. Here he is once more, but he fouled on the outside shot, Jung Kyun. That's how concerned the Hong Kong defense is about his outside shooting ability. He's made a couple already here in the third quarter. And now we'll go to the line for 3. Hong Kong have certainly made a game of it here in the third. Down by as many as 19. Now just a 10-point gap, but a chance for Korea to extend it to 13 when we return.
함께 가시게 됐어요. 예.
뛰는 시간이 몇 분이라도 줄여서
부럽지만 축하의 박수 다시 한번 부탁드리겠습니다. 축하드리겠습니다. 김민호 선수 고맙습니다. 고맙습니다.
승부 대강대요. 언더슛 쏘고 그냥 백코트 하라고.
자, 라이브로 노래하는 첫 리바운드를 잡아내는 이 짤스를 진행했는데 오늘 대한민국이
A huge margin in scoring in terms of the bench players, 29-5 in favour of Korea. It shows the extra strength and depth that they have over Hong Kong. And Hong Kong have made this mini comeback, but they've done so without the presence of Korea's main centre Ratliff on the floor at the start of the third quarter. It's a 20-point game for Jun Hyun as he stretches the Korean lead back to 13. Star of the show so far for them here in the third quarter. It's a nice pass, but after his teammate had done the hard part, Chun Wai couldn't do the rest. Jun Hyun, it's another three. He misses this time. Offensive rebound again and put in by Se-kyun. The offensive rebounding count now is 15-6. And certainly every offense, it seems, in this third quarter, Korea are grabbing a rebound. 15 points the lead. There's the steal as well. Here comes Kyung Min down the floor, over the head, pass, and put in by Jun Yong. Korea back up by 17, 10-0 on the fast break. Chun Wai to Reed. Lee Ki fires one from the inside and continues to hit. 23 points now for Lee Ki. 5 of 7 from downtown. It's the only thing that's really keeping Hong Kong in the game. Nice ball movement here to Kyung Min. And he answers straight back for Korea. Kyung Min on his qualifying debut. Up to 3 of 4 from downtown, the leading three-point shooter in the Korean League. Timeout call with Korea leading 71-54. You can see the turnover stats there. One of the main things hurting coach On Hin Kong's team. 10-4. Duncan Reed has rediscovered his touch in this third quarter. And now for Hong Kong has 13 points, but it's the 23 of Lee Ki that is keeping them alive in this one. The outside shooting of Kyung Min for Korea, opening up a 17-point gap here. Here goes Choi Kwan back inside to Wai Kit. Wai Kit off the mark. Here come Korea now, looking to run on the fast break again. Nice bounce pass and put in by Kyung Min. He's up to double figures on his debut. "19 points, ties the largest lead so far, and then an offensive foul against Hong Kong, so a chance for Korea to extend the lead for the first time in the second half beyond 20. Jong Kyu missing the long two, rebound secured by Zhu. A rare occasion that Hong Kong has grabbed a rebound on their own backboard before Korea here in the third quarter. Three-point shot for Choi Kwang, rattle around and drop. They've shot the ball well from the outside, 50%, 10 of 20 as a team. They just can't shoot it inside Hong Kong. Answering back for Korea. Lead now at 18, a minute and a half to play in the third quarter. Adam Zhu onto Duncan Reed. Duncan Reed looking to edge his way towards the basket here. Goes one way, then the other. Nice fake from him. The hook shot off the mark, though, and the rebound grabbed by Jong Kyu. Here goes On all the way down the floor, getting away with it quite well for him. Korea 11 of 12 from the stripe so far. Add one more onto that, and this next one, if they can continue to be so accurate from the foul line, would take the lead to 20 for the first time. No problems whatsoever for Hyo-won. 77-57 as we approach the final minute of the third quarter. Hui Kwon, now Duncan Reed. Reed spinning on the edge of the paint. Wai Kit looking to attack, and the foul call. Wai Kit again, back out to C.A. Lai. Wai Kit one-on-one inside with Jong Kyu. Jong Kyu gets his fingers to the loose ball. Only batted out to Reed, didn't touch the rim, so it would have been a shot clock violation, and it not being picked off anyway by the Korean defense. Se-kyun, Kyung-min. Kyung-min prodding and probing, hanging one high. And the mid-ranger goes for Se-kyun. Shot clock turned off at the end of the third quarter. 22 points, the advantage now for Korea. Contested long range two drops for Hong Kong, closes the gap to 20. And we're not going to have another buzzer beater at the end of the quarter. And that will do it for the third. South Korea in control now. And that their biggest scoring quarter of the game so far, 29 points, and they did it without Ratliff on the floor for the majority. They have a 20-point buffer to take into the fourth quarter. And this is the start of the second window of the new FIBA international calendar. For both of these two countries, South Korea up by 20 at the end of the third quarter, 79-59. And the inside shooting percentages tallying of the dominance inside of Korea, who've scored 54% of their attempts from two-point range, limited Hong Kong to just 38%. And they've grabbed 15 offensive rebounds to Hong Kong's 7. And despite the visiting team shooting 10 three-pointers at 50% accuracy, it's Korea who comfortably have the advantage now in this one. One or two moments that Hong Kong looked perhaps to get themselves back in business in that third quarter, closed the gap to single figures for just a few seconds, and then stepping up Jung Hyun with the outside shooting for Korea. And that time the steal and the assist for Kyung Min, finished off by Jung Yong. Korea led by the 20 points of Lee Jung Hyun, who is 5 of 10 from downtown. They've also had 13 points, 9 rebounds from Ratliff, and 10 points in 10 minutes for Kyung Min. They seem to have a problem, I think, over at the scorer's table with the clock before we start this fourth quarter, but we're ready to go now. Korea leading 79-59. The home team starting with the ball here in the fourth and final quarter. Corner 3 contested off the mark for Jun Byom. Jun Byom, who so far has hit just 1 of 7 from downtown. And that after going 6 of 8 in the win over New Zealand en route to 22 points. He was then just 2 of 8 in the defeat to China, so he's not been able to replicate the form of the first game in either of the last 2. See a lie off the mark, offensive rebound for Hong Kong now. Taste of their own medicine for Korea. Reed misses, another one grabbed as well, but they protect their basket and now look to come in transition. The outside shot there on the money, Hyo On. The advantage, largest lead for Korea. Lee Ki calls for the screen from Reed. Lee Ki in towards the edge of the paint. Shot clock winding down. 3-point for Hong Kong, off the mark. By some distance as well from Yu Cho. Chan Hee. Chan Hee across to the far side. He'll take on another 3, will he? No, steps inside this time. Back to Chan Hee, who misses off the pass from Jun Byom. Offensive rebound inside, forcing off the backboard by Jung Kyu. Jung Kyu becomes the 4th Korean player into double figures and now has 11. Reed across to this near side, looking to get it back inside and gets fouled. Duncan Reed 6 early points, then a massive drought before scoring 7 very quickly at the start of the third quarter. He'll go to the bench here in the fourth. Eight minutes to go. Korea by 25. Hong Kong with possession with Lung Tak. The outside shot misses. Rebound reeled in by Jung Yong. Jung Yong down the floor, looking to go coast to coast. Nice pass from him, put in by John Q. Chun Wai, completely free mid-range, misses this shot. Chan Hee the rebound. Chan Hee carrying the ball down the floor, finds Hyo Ung. Ung back to Jong Kyu. On by Chan Hee to the far side. Nice hesitation inside, back out to the perimeter, and it falls. Kim Jong Kyu heading from all angles now. 15.7 rebounds, 7 of 11 from the field. Lee Ki to take on a 3, misses that one. We're going to have a stoppage now because Kim Jong-kyu has some blood coming from the nose, so we'll have to go to the bench. Jun Byung. And a turnover from Bok Hyung. Only Korea's 5th of the game. The target for them will certainly be to hit the century mark now before the game is through. Choi Kwan knocked away. A chance to come in transition and a foul. There's the defense from Park Jan-hee. Coming up with the steal. Third foul on Chun Wai Wong after that. Three-pointer off the mark for Kyung Min. Rebound Lee Ki. Lee Ki still the leading scorer in the game with 23 points. Just hasn't had a great deal of help for Hong Kong. Hong Kong 0 of 8 from the field so far in the 4th quarter. And that's how they started the second, when the game was blown wide open. And that one's nowhere near the basket from Choi Kwan. Chan Hee. Jun Yong. Kyung Min for 3, misses that one. And Korea very comfortable in the second half of this one, particularly since around the midway point of the 3rd quarter, and able to give key players a good long rest ahead of what will surely be a tougher game on Monday here. (29) the lead as we approach the midway point of the 4th quarter. Getting away here is Choi Kwan. Back out, 3-point shot. Chun Wai will fall with their first field goal of the 4th. Kyo Hoon moving it on. Mid-range shot contested by Reed to good effect, but still going to be Korea ball. Kyung Min getting inside, back out. They move it around the perimeter. Look to step inside against, just behind Jung Yong. He's able to reel it in. There's the bounce pass to the cut right down the street from Jan Hee, and he will go to the line for 2.
Team number 3. Foul for the Russia in Korea.
Has yet to score in the game, the Korean number 1, Park Jan-hee, but he has contributed 4 assists and 5 rebounds in 15 minutes on court. It's his first trip to the line, he misses his first attempt. He's 0 of 2 from the field as well. And misses both of them by a long way. Certainly looking like the most respectable scoreline in the qualifiers so far for Hong Kong, down by 26. But they don't look like a team that can get a win in this qualifying group.
Team Hong Kong substitution. Number 37 comes in, number 17 comes out.
Lung Taku's just come in, off to Man Hung. Across to the near side to Choi Kwan. Choi Kwan stops and pops and gets it to drop. Wide open look for 3, not taken on by Jung Yeon, but they'll take it from the far side instead. Rebound for Choi Kwan. Hong Kong having missed their first 9, I think, field goal attempts in this quarter, have hit their last 2. Choi Kwan into Duncan Reed, looking to make it 3 in a row. Reed misses after beating his man, grabs the rebound, misses a second attempt as well. Can Hong Kong make it 3rd time lucky here? Hui Kwon turning and shooting over the top of Jung Yeon, but missing. Reed underneath, misses the wide open layup and gets it to fall that time. How many opportunities did Hong Kong need? Quick release, quarterback pass down the floor. Bok Young with the dunk, and it's Korean cruise control in the capital. Lead up to 24. 3.5 to play, timeout called by Hong Kong. All of that offensive effort from Hong Kong to try and get a score, 4 or 5 attempts, and then they just forgot. They had to turn their attention to defense after that. Korea have battered Hong Kong inside, and they've blitzed them on the fast break as well. A quick release down the floor from Chan-hee, and a flying one-handed jam from Bok Young. A highlight reel play to light up what has been a relatively mundane 4th quarter. Screen set there by Hui Kwon. And the foul. Korea have been comfortable for the entirety of this 4th quarter and the majority of the 2nd half. And they have just taken their foot off the gas. It looks like they could fall short of the century mark when they look to be well on their way at the end of the 3rd quarter. Reed. And they turn it over on the far side as Man Hung is unable to gather the ball. He's 0 of 3 from the field, failed to score in just 6 minutes on court. Liang Man Hung for Hong Kong, having scored 14 points in each of the first 2 games. He's been a peripheral figure in this one. Kyung Min for 3, got it. And he's 3rd from the outside, up to 13 points. A lovely piece of footwork there from Liang Man Hung, showing what he can do. His first score of this one. comes with just 2 minutes remaining. Chan-hee down the baseline, across to the near side. Hyung-min back out. They move it around to Chan-hee. Chan-hee, oh, the bounce pass exchange wouldn't go down though. He got disrupted on his route to the rim. There's some more of that footwork from Man Hung and a foul. "25 points the gap as we into the final 2 minutes. Lung Tak onto Choi Kwan. Choi Kwan all the way down Main Street to finish. "13 points now for him. Chan-hee gets it back on the perimeter, moves it on. Kyung-min getting set to unload again, misses. Read the rebound. And then an unsportsmanlike foul called. Reed is stating his case to the officials. Be worth having another look at that one. It's been called by the looks of it on Jun Yong. So free throws and possession for Hong Kong. It's Lung Tak who goes to the line. Korea, of course, will want to win the game by as many as possible in case points differentials come into play at any stage, but they have used the opportunity, perhaps for the more important reason, here in the fourth quarter, of keeping their players fresh for the next game on Monday, taking star players out of the game, and that's led to just 14 points so far in the fourth quarter. They hit at least 25 in each of the first 3 quarters. Return of the count, 5-14. Whoever Korea have had on the floor, they've protected the ball very well. That's a nice pass to the baseline, overhead pass, back out, Kyo Hoon for 3. Flying attempt to the putback for Korea. Wouldn't go down for them that time. It was reminiscent of the one that Jong Kyu stuffed down in the first half. Final minute of the game here. And then the rejection from Jun Yong. He struggled scoring today, Choi Jun Yong, but he's done a bit of everything else. 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and now the block. Chan-hee steps back and takes a static 3, rattles around and pops out again. Offensive rebound once more. Offensive rebound number 19 for Korea. This time a long 2 that won't go down for Chan-hee. They're certainly going to fall short of the century mark now, Korea. There's a foul inside with just 8.7 seconds remaining now. And it will send Lin Ho Chun to the line. Korea ready to move on now for a bigger challenge on this court on Monday. 3-point shot to finish it off, wouldn't go down. But Korea pick up their first win on home court. in the World Cup qualifying campaign as they beat Hong Kong by 21. And Jung Hyun, the life and soul of the party, as he hit 20 points, 5 of 10 from downtown to lead 4 players in double figures for Korea. They moved to 2-1 overall. And a positive debut for Ricardo Ratliff, who didn't play in the second half, but 13 points, 9 rebounds, a block and a steal in the first. Got the better of Reed in that battle inside. Reed forced to play longer minutes because of Hong Kong's situation. Finished with 15 points, 13 rebounds for a double-double, but he was just 7 of 19 from the field. Hong Kong led by the 23 points of Lee Ki, who was 5 of 8 from downtown, but didn't get them close at all to Korea, who had a number of positive performances beneath the 20-point game high of Jung Hyun for them. They had 15 points from Kim Jong-kyu, as well as 7 rebounds. 13 points on his debut in the qualifiers from Kyung Min, who hit 3 from the outside, and 13 points, as I've mentioned as well, from Ricardo Ratliff on his Korean debut. As we see some of the stats here, turnovers key. South Korea just 5 throughout the whole game, Hong Kong 14. In terms of the shooting numbers, Korea 52% inside, ended up hitting 10 from the outside as well. A look at some of the game leaders in the various departments. I've been through those already. Korea also 13 of 16 from the foul line for 81%. As we see their top scorers, the 20 for Lee Jung Hyun leading the way, but the 23 for Hong Kong's number 7, Lee Ki, the leading scorer in the game. Didn't get a great deal of help from elsewhere though. A look at the Group A standings now. South Korea go to 2-1. China still yet to play, or playing at the moment, against New Zealand. Hong Kong fall to 0-3 at the bottom of that group. Well, Hong Kong made it a game over the first 25 minutes. Korea pulled away to lead by double figures. After that, led by 19 early on, but it was pulled back by Hong Kong to just 9 points at one point in the third quarter. It looked as though, behind that wonderful 23 performance from Lee Ki, they were going to keep it going down the stretch, but Korea showed their strength, particularly from the bench, and were able to come through comfortably in the end and give key players a rest in the fourth quarter. Korea moved to 2-1 in the Asian World Cup qualifiers as they beat Hong Kong here 93-72.